Again, my name is Rick Taylor, and I'm running for Congress in District 2. Also, I'll take a second just to thank Jay Love for the leadership he offered in the last congressional race. We all wish, I know, that that race had turned out differently for the Republican Party. But this morning, I want to point out that we're in a unique climate right now. We're in one of the scariest political times for our country and for our district. What's even worse is I believe we have one of the most threatening elements in our congressional district that we got to worry about, and that's what I want to talk about today, and that's a blue dog Democrat. Bobby Bright and the blue dog Democrat label is by far more of a threat than Nancy Pelosi. And the reason for that is that Nancy Pelosi is someone that has conviction. She knows where she stands. She wears it with a bright waving flag, and you know where to go after her at. Bobby Bright likes to ride a fence. He likes to sway whichever way is going to be most convenient, and he offers a buffer between the argument of liberalism and conservatism. And as long as the media and as long as the rest of the world is focusing on that blue dog, that middle ground that everybody says is okay, we can't have the argument. We can't have the debate on where our country should go. And that's very threatening to us. A couple reasons that I'm running. This last August recess, when Congressman Bright was going around and supposedly meeting his constituents, and healthcare was the big buzz. What everybody wanted to talk about, all the constituents wanted to voice their opinion about, everyone started screaming for a town hall meeting. Bobby Bright doesn't like town hall meetings. And I think there's a reason Bobby Bright doesn't like town hall meetings. Town hall meetings are places in which you and I, the constituents, can ask questions. More than that, it's a place that you get to ask follow-up questions whenever you don't get the answer that you're looking for, or you get that neutral answer that you know can go either way when the time comes. Case in point, I went to his first Congressman on the Corner event. Something unique about Congressman on the Corner event. I like the idea if you're just going to go around and meet and shake hands and it's not something that has as big of an issue as healthcare and national healthcare on it. We went to Heritage Barbershop, small little place in West Montgomery, smaller than this room. Okay, place of business. We get there and I said, you know what? I want to make sure I ask Bobby Bright a question. I want to make sure, so I centered myself in the middle of the room. He, of course, rose 15 minutes late. We knew he was only going to be there for an hour. And he got there and spoke for 30, 35 minutes, and he came in, and the first thing he said was, I want to make sure I set the foundation here. Our congressional leader is coming in and telling us he wants to set the foundation. And his foundation was, I don't know where I stand on the health care bill. There's 6 of them out there, we're going to see what bubbles at the top, and then I'll make a decision at that time. That's not leadership, folks. Leadership is coming in and saying, I want to make sure you guys understand, I understand the tone that you have set, that you don't want this in your district, you don't want this in the United States, and I want you to know loud and clear that I'm here to stand, put a stake in the ground and fight against it. Bobby Bright didn't do that. We got a large group of seniors together who also want to have a town hall meeting. We went to his office. One thing I know in sales is if you call people on the phone, it's easy for them to hang up on it. It's easy to leave a message and not return your call. But if you show up at their office, it shows how important it is that you meet with them. Most likely they'll come and give you the respect of shaking your hand, introducing themselves, and then saying, you know what, I'm going to make sure I get someone to give you some time, I'll get back to you. About 40 or 50 of myself with Becky Garrison from the Wetumpka Tea Party showed up at his office one morning. Bobby Bright was there. News cameras have this. It's actually a clip on my site you can go see. He snuck out the back door. Didn't even come out and acknowledge that all these seniors had showed up to voice their concern about the health care bill. That's not leadership. He should have come out, even if he had to go, and said, guys, I'm so glad you stopped by to see me. I'm so sorry I've got to go. Richard, or whatever scheduler guy's name is, please make sure you get these good folks on my schedule, and I'll make sure I get to listen to what they have to say. That's what he should have done, and he didn't. And then finally, when all of us were screaming for a town hall meeting in Montgomery, we had to put together our own town hall meeting. So on the Capitol steps one day, on a lunch afternoon, we had about 200 people show up. And we had a nice little statue of Bobby Bright, with a picture of him pasted right up at the top. And I was the final speaker at that event. And we gave everybody that wanted to come a chance to speak their mind to the public and to everyone else on how they felt about health care. Bobby Bright's a threat to us, and I think you all know that. I think the biggest way that we all can work together to do that is to help understand people and diminish this blue dog label. That blue dog label has got to go. He chose a side, folks. He chose a side 2 years ago, and that side should haunt him this year because he's voting with Nancy Pelosi 70% of the time. He's out there, he's not representing our views, he's not taking a stand. I want you to know that when I get to Washington, I will take a stand. There will be a firm stake in the ground, a hard line in the sand, and there'll be no more compromise. It's time for you to come our way, and we're going to bring this country back. Thank you so much for your time.